going on YouTube? Mike with I Heart Knives. Tonight we're going to talk about how to hone a Japanese Kamisori. This is something a little different. I figure rather than your traditional like Western style straight razors, it's not like a brand. This is one that I made. I am going to show you guys the differences between like the Western and the Japanese, what makes them cool, and why they're such nice razors to shave with, and they're actually a little bit easier to hone. So let's go right into it. Western style razor has a 50-50 grind. This is hollow ground, and it's 50% on the left side, 50% on the right side, so you have an even bevel that meets in the middle. With a Kamisori, it's an asymmetrical grind, and they're often thought about having a flat back, but it's actually concave. And then the front side has like where you have your like your kanji or your markings. This is also concave. This is more like what you'd see on a regular razor. It reflects like a hollow grind. Okay, so I think that's the best I'm going to be able to show you. But basically, you have the face that's concave, and when it sits on the stone, it sits flat like this. And then you have the back side, which is actually the side that you shave with, like this side here, where the satin look is, where the grind lines are. That's the part that actually goes up against your skin, and that has 20, maybe 25 degree bevel. Let's see if we can show this. What it looks like here. So basically, the way that you sharpen a Kamisori, I usually use the 7-to-1 method. There's different methods of sharpening it. I usually do like every 7 strokes on this back side, I do 1 for the front. And this is actually very similar to a single bevel knife. You could call this, I guess, a chisel grind, because it has, a primary grind on one side, and then it has like a flat other side. Even though it's concave here, in between, it sits flat on the stone. I would probably refer to it as an asymmetrical grind, but technically I guess you could refer to it as chisel grind. To begin with, I'll do the bevel set on the 1000, and then I think what I'm going to do is I'll take my mid-range stone and I'll put a slurry on it, and I'll work the slurry a little bit, and then I'll go to the Nagura. I'm not 100% sure exactly how I'm going to go through with it, but I'm going to do a Nagura progression because that's what works for me. I know it works, and it's worked for so many guys before me that have tested it, that it just makes sense to go that route. I get really good shaves off of it, and I might even go Koma Nagura. So at the end, that's like a more rare Nagura. One thing I forgot to say is I'm like 99.9% sure that this is white steel, probably white number 1. Usually white number 1 is is it is the finest of the Hitachi steels. This is probably Yasuki steel. I'm not 100% sure, but this was not expensive. This was not an expensive Kamisori. Better ones have markings of the steel usually. I'm gonna go ahead and kill the edge. And get right into it. Okay, now we'll check and see how we're doing. Okay, right away I can tell that I'm hitting from right here all the way over. This back portion I need to put a little bit more pressure at the, let's call this the heel of the Kamisori, and this is the toe of the Kamisori. I need to put more pressure on the heel. Another thing that I should have said earlier was I flattened all the stones before I got started. I didn't show you that because I've done a video on flattening before. And I'll grab a Sharpie quick just to show you guys so you can see. Alright, and now you'll be able to see we have Sharpie at the bottom there. Okay, and Sharpie is gone all the way at the apex of the Kamisori. There is a little bit left at the very toe, but it's not at the apex, it's actually behind the apex. So the bevel at this point is set, but we are going to go a little bit further. We're going to do lighter pressure. And by set, all I mean is that the apex is being reached on either side to form that like triangle that we know the apex. Another big piece to this puzzle is if you watch the way that the water moves. Now watch how the water is displaced. Okay, so it was easier to see on this side, but you should have been able to see that the water rides up onto the razor. You know, when the apex is meeting the stone and we've got it formed, that's how a huge clue is how that water is displaced, and the water rides over the bevel, and if the apex wasn't formed and the bevel wasn't set, you'd know right away because the water would just go under the blade. Alright, now we're going to go to our mid-range stone. Now, naturals don't have grit like synthetics do. It's all about pressure and how hard and how fine the stone is. So that matters more than like what the perceived grit is of a stone. And technique is, I'd say, probably about 80% of it. All right, so actually, let's just go right into Tenjo. Then we will see how strong these Nagura stones are. Definitely sharp. Alright, so at this point, I'm actually going to grab a paper towel, put it here, and I'm going to wipe off this grit particle. Now, if I was really doing this, like, for an actual razor that I cared about, that I was going to be shaving with, like, right after, I'd rinse it at the sink and make sure the particles were all nice and fresh, and I wasn't contaminating at all. At this point, I'm not too concerned. This is just to show you guys how to do it, and I can always go back and rehone it. So at this point, we'll take the finer Tenjo Nagura, and these are the same type of stone. They were mined from the same area. This Nagura is, the better quality than this according to the stamp, and would sell for more money than this according to the stamp. But this is a softer Nagura, and it works really quickly, and it's more forgiving than this Nagura. This Nagura is a little bit harder. It's a little bit finer too, but I can't push this slurry as much as I can push this. I can push this slurry like for days. It's stupid. It stays creamy for a long time. This Nagura breaks down much differently than this, even though they're the same type stone and they were mined from the same area. There's lots of variation. as I dilute the Nagura slurry and keep honing, I'm using less and less and less and less pressure. So every single time you just keep using less, you dilute less, and you just want to keep that sequence. The finer that you get, if you start putting pressure, you'll definitely risk messing your edge up. Alright, now we're going to go to the Mejiro Nagura. This is like the third finest if I'm talking about just your Botan, Tenjo, Mejiro, and Koma Naguras. Alright guys, she is sharp right now. At this point, I'm going to clean off this stone. I am going to go to Koma Nagura, but I'm not going to do it on this stone because my Koma Nagura is finer than the stone that I'm working on. So it would be counterproductive. And Koma Nagura is not a cheap stone. It's about $1 a gram. And I don't want to waste it. Now you can finish with a Koma Nagura. That can be your last step. Alright, we'll just go a little bit further with this. I don't even want to go too far because I'll just start shaving all my hair off. I mean, as soon as it touches the hair, it just literally like wipes them off. There's a difference between like popping a hair off and wiping a hair off. You should be able to see all the hair on there. I mean, it literally takes no effort. And that's the goal. I mean, it's a razor. See if I can show you guys how bare that spot is on my arm. Can't even see where the hairs were before. Like where the follicles are. Usually you can see like that little bit of hair that still sticks up, and you have to do a second and third pass. That was a single pass, and it's like a baby's butt. It's stupid. That's the beauty of Kamisori. They seem to get sharper than Western razors a lot of the time, or maybe the same level of sharpness, but in easier fashion in less amount of time. This video is going to be a little bit longer than like the 15-minute mark that I want to stay under. It was about a half hour to film it, and once I edit it, I should be able to cut out quite a bit. But I still want it to be informational, because I want you guys to, if you want to pick up a Kamisori and shave with it, and you need to hone it first, I'd like you guys to know how to do it rather than me just show you how I do it, but I'm not walking you through how to do it. I figure if I have the film showing you how to do it, that way you skip through it if you want and do whatever. Alright guys, this is Mike with I Heart Knives. Thanks for watching. Next videos are going to be all about knives. This is just something a little different. Figured I'd throw in something Japanese. I know a lot of the guys that are pocket knife guys love like Japanese cutlery and stuff, so why not? If you learned something or you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. To all the Super Steel Steves guys, thanks for coming on over. If anybody from Jeff Jewell is here, thank you. And the usual suspects. I'm not going to try to name them all, but you guys know who you are. Thank you guys again for all your support. That's going to do it for the Japanese Kamisori honing. I hope you got something out of it, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Later.